潮玩飛鏢係由 Multicultural Dart Association 贊助播出。All About Darts is brought to you by the Multicultural Dart Association。潮玩飛鏢 All About Darts。
歡迎大家嚟到新一集嘅潮玩飛鏢 All About Darts。Welcome to a new episode of All About Darts. We have been talking about youth darts last week, and today we're going to continue on this topic. However, we're going to get someone that's extremely special in the Canadian dart scene, and Bong is going to share with us who is it later on. But to me, this gentleman or this young star or this upcoming big star, I'm sure that he will be creating significant influence in the Canadian dart scene in the near future. 今日好高興啦！上個禮拜我係有機會咧同一位嘅年青嘅標手傾過偈啦 ，Stephen Wilcox 啦。到今個禮拜咧，我哋將會同另一位年青嘅標手傾偈。但係呢個年青標手咧非常特別，因為佢喺年紀細細咧已經係攀升到咧一個非常之高嘅位置。更加重要一樣嘢嚟講咧，佢係啱啱咧由年青組別晉升到去成人嘅組別。但係咧佢晉升到成人組別咧，佢依然咧都係攞到一個非常之高嘅排位嘅。咁究竟呢位係邊個咧？咁我要揾阿邦介紹一下啦。邦 ，So who have you brought with you today to our special program tonight?
To all radio listeners of All About Darts, we are proud to present to you Sean Narain of Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Sean, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. How you doing, man?
We're okay. We're so excited to interview you and share your darts experience with all our listeners globally.
Welcome to our program, Sean. My name's Christina, and I'm one of the co-hosts of the program. So, Bong, tell us a little bit more. How do you know Sean?
Sean used to be a starting dart player in Ontario, and they moved to Calgary, Alberta. The last time I saw you, Sean, you were like 13 or 14 years old. Your dad kept on saying that, he had a new dart student. Where did you learn your darts, Sean, from your dad? Can you share something about how you started with playing darts?
I guess one of the good experiences that really got me into it was the one time my parents, they were playing out of a restaurant on the Tuesday night dart league when I was 7, and I tagged along, and I ended up playing a couple games, and I took one of them out to the bullseye, and that kind of really made me want to do it, because as a 7-year-old I beat an adult, and from that point on, I guess I just started to go on, but I played before that.
Wow, okay. So 原來聽阿 Sean 所講咧，正如頭先阿邦講咧，其實咧佢識咗佢好長時間啦。其實喺阿 Sean 13歲嘅時候咧，佢已經識咗邦啦。咁而當其時咧係因為佢嘅雙親啦，佢 parents 咧都係一個飛鏢業餘嘅飛鏢手嚟嘅。OK， 咁其實阿 Sean 喺幾時開始玩飛鏢咧？原來咧喺好細嘅年紀咧，7歲咧已經開始玩飛鏢噶啦。而更加重要一樣嘢嚟講咧，當其時咧只係一個換票嘅性質，因為咧佢同佢雙親咧一齊喺一個我哋叫做有飛鏢玩嘅一個餐廳啦，嗰度參加比賽啦。佢純粹咧只係無意中拎起嗰3支飛鏢咧，而一掟嘅時候咧，已經掟出一個非常之好嘅成績，好快已經中到紅心。就係由嗰一刻開始，佢開始執起3支飛鏢，而開始認真起嚟。So Sean, at age 7, that's when you start to play darts. Okay, what gets you serious about it? What gets you to be playing in the competitive level of the sport?
Well, an interesting answer about that because, I didn't really get that motivation until I became an adult. So as a youth, I just looked at the game as like a hobby, something that I did. Mm-hmm. And then when I transferred to adult, I kind of stopped playing more in the Canadian scene and then moved to the American and English scene, which kind of made me realize that this game has something more to it, and it just made me realize it's what I wanted to do. After the first major tournament that I went to and saw the crowd, that helped a lot as well.
I see. Hey Sean, when did that transition happen? Tell us a little bit more about your age. When did you have the transition from the youth turning into the adult crowd, I should say, that you start to play competitively?
Well, I guess when it comes to the Canadian scene, I played the adults while I was a youth. Mm-hmm. So the moment I left the youth program in Canada, which I think, is 19 years old was the last year I could play. So that'd be the year I switched to adult. But, like I said, the weird thing about it was I didn't switch to the Canada adult. I more played now USA and English at that point. So at 19 will be the transition.
I see.
there.
You are right now, you're at age 20, correct?
22, actually.
22. So around 3 years ago at age 19, that's when you start to switch from the youth dart league to the adult scene. But yet you didn't switch to Canada. However, you switched to the America and the United Kingdom.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I still played Canada, but I didn't quite play it as much.
Right. Majority of time.
Somehow I managed to become ranked number 1, but that I think was just all by luck.
Very good, very good. Let me do a little bit of translation for our Cantonese listeners out there. 其實 Sean 咧非常之犀利，原來喺19歲嘅時候咧，亦都係每一個年青人咧要由年青組別轉去成人組別嘅一個時間。喺19歲嘅時候咧，佢就由年青組啦轉咗去成人組啦。其實喺19歲以前咧，佢大部分時間咧都喺加拿大呢邊咧係參與一啲飛鏢嘅飛鏢嘅比賽啦。咁當然嚟講，當其時只係以一個業餘性質或者以一個興趣嘅性質去投放喺呢個飛鏢嘅運動嗰度，咁但係直至到咧佢由19歲咧轉到去成人組別之後咧，佢就開始認真起嚟啦。而加上裏邊嚟講，因為咧去到成人組別咧，俾佢了解到更加多原來飛鏢是什麼一個嘅運動啦，同埋亦都令到佢咧大開眼界，因為接觸到唔同嘅成人嘅飛鏢手。咁就喺嗰一刻開始，即係3年前，佢而家今時今日係22歲啦。喺3年前咧，佢就踏入咗呢個成人嘅飛鏢嘅運動嘅組別咧，而開始咧投放更加多嘅時間，投放更加多嘅興趣咧落去呢一個運動。而喺短短嘅時間裏邊嚟講咧，亦都做得非常之好。究竟佢做得有幾好？有問一問阿 Sean 先。Sean, 3 years you climbed to a very significant sport, I should say, in the North American dart scene. Can I say so?
Yeah, I'm pretty well known now here. Yeah.
Yes, just 3 years. You're very talented. Just 3 years. Let me report to our audience let me get Bong to report to our audience how well you do, Bong. What's the ranking he is at right now?
I came 5th place this year in the soft tip world series there. Or Darts Live soft tip world.
That's right.
I guess there's a couple of those. So. Yeah, that's on my mind right now. That's my biggest this year. Also, I did other things this year, like I qualified for some PDC major tournaments, the UK Open and 2 European tours, which, on my mind is a ranking list at its own, kind of.
It's very good.
Its own thing there.
It's very good. I just pull out the ranking list that you are doing at the world right now. That Bong just passed it over to me. You're extremely proud. If we in Canada, we're Canadian. We should be extremely proud of you because you're actually the only person from Canada that's within the top 8. Can I say so?
Yes.
You're the only Canadian who's in top 8, and assume that you could be the youngest among the 8 dart player.
For the Darts Live Super Darts 8 later.
That's right. And this is honestly, when I'm looking at this list, I would say wow, because like for the other 7 dart players in combined, they have more than 100 years of dart playing age, right, Sean?
Yes, for sure.
Yeah, we have a lot of big names there from Europe, from Singapore, from Japan. Just to give our audience a little bit more idea, for the top 8, ranking number 3 is the Asian loving dart player Paul Lim, and whereas Sean is actually ranking number 5.
Yeah,
which is doing.
He's a legend in the game of darts.
Yeah,
from a long time ago to now.
That's right, and I'm sure that you are going to step into the legend path, and we'll see more of you in the dart scene. 其實 Sean 咧，我哋今日訪問嘉賓咧，非常之出色啊！喺飛鏢界別裏邊，因為短短3年時間裏邊，佢喺成人嘅組別參與一啲飛鏢嘅運動，包括軟鏢啦或者硬鏢啦，佢已經做得非常之好，俾大家知道佢究竟有幾好先。大家都會有聽過咧一個叫嚟自一個飛鏢機嘅品牌叫 Darts Live 啦。咁每一年咧，佢會籌劃咧一個成年嘅一個叫做 World 嘅一個比賽啦，亦都叫 Super Darts 2015啦。OK，for 嚟緊。咁而裏邊嚟講咧，唔同嘅飛鏢手咧，嚟自世界各地嘅飛鏢手咧，將會參與唔同嘅分站嘅比賽，而攞到佢哋排名。我哋嘅 Sean Narain 咧，其實咧喺呢個頭嗰8強裏邊嚟講係排第5位嘅。咁而佢亦都係唯一一個加拿大嘅飛鏢手咧，係排喺呢個 Top 8嘅組別裏邊。 俾大家知道多少少咧，究竟佢有幾犀利。因為咧，其實如果我哋睇翻啲個 Top 8裏邊所有嘅飛鏢手咧嘅標齡咧，係比佢多好多。而我可以話俾大家聽，大部分飛鏢手咧，佢參與呢個飛鏢運動，無論硬標同軟標咧，已經有超過20年啦至少。而我哋最喜歡嘅其中一個我哋叫做亞洲嘅飛鏢手 Paul Lim 咧，就喺呢個 ranking 裏邊排第3嘅，而阿 Sean 咧排第5。阿 Sean 咧可以話喺呢8個飛鏢手裏邊係算係一個最後生咧，亦都係唯一一個代表住加拿大排名嘅一個飛鏢手。Sean, thank you for making Canada being one of the top 8 among the league. You know, this is really exciting. Me being a Canadian, I'm sure that out there, being the Canadian out there, listeners out there are very exciting about it. And congratulations about that. Tell us more. I understand that around 3 years ago, you transferred from the youth to the adult. Okay. When you're starting to play with adults, how do you feel? Are you feeling a lot of pressure, or what was the moment like?
Well, that's something I can give credit to the Alberta sector of Canada. They kind of prohibited the youth from going into a lot of venues in Canada and not being allowed to play. But here in Alberta and Saskatchewan and Vancouver, they actually promote the youth players. So you'll find that like an 8-year-old kid, he'll be playing if he's a part of the youth darts. You know, they're all welcome, and they did well when I was a youth to make me feel a part of it. You know, so by the time I started bringing my experience elsewhere, it wasn't a shock that I guess unhappy moments could happen. At that point, you know, we were taught really well here.
Very good.
Actually, a picture, Dawson Merschel, who's also a dart player, he posted the other week. It reminded me of those moments where, you know, we were strong as a youth team and strong as a province of dart players as well. You know, an adult accepted the youth. So,
I see.
No, it wasn't that hard ever.
I see.
After the people here took care of us.
Because you were in the province where in the West Coast that the youth players can play or can compete together with adults, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So therefore,
they can in the East Coast as well, but they have a couple more problems there. You know, which I understand. There's more dart players that circulate around there, which create more problems that you know some of the kids might not be, you know, should not see, I guess.
I see.
華語電台着數多，
一卡在手冇錯過。
Canadian Chinese Radio Jet Card Special.
O'Connor Dental Care 全方牙醫服務緊急護理美白種牙箍牙專家，憑質素卡享9折，地址1871號 O'Connor Drive， 電話416-759-0895。
For all your dental needs plus savings on denture whitening braces and wisdom tooth extraction, visit O'Connor Dental Care, 1871 O'Connor Drive, Toronto, 416-759-0895.
Tikka 印度美食美味燒雞、傳統咖喱、燒薄餅，食過翻尋味。另有純素食食譜，地址喺6001號14街，電話905-2016-767，追數街享有85折優惠。
Tikka Indian Delight at 6001 14th Avenue, Markham, 905-201-6767. Jitso Card 15% off.
質素卡申請及查詢電話416-496-9633。華語電台着數多，一卡在手冇錯過。
潮玩飛鏢 All About Darts。
Oh, Sean, a little bit clarification because you started with steel tip darts. How long have you been playing darts with the soft tip?
Oh, that's 3 years now since I made the transfer to adults. Me and Ken McNeil, we just went down to Vegas for 1 year to try it out. I went the next year after that, and then my dad came, and when he saw it, he just he told me, he said, well, you got to play this because this is cool, which I think is cool as well. I think it's a really cool transition.
Wow,
Okay.
that's good.
Translation，OK，其實咧當其時咧，我問咗阿 Sean 一個問題啦，就係佢由一個年輕嘅飛鏢組別咧，跳到去成人組別嚟講咧，佢究竟喺無論喺心態上啦，或者整體佢個整合方面嚟講咧，需唔需要有個調節咧咁樣樣？咁其實咧原來咧，因為阿 Sean 咧本身係喺我哋西岸嗰邊，即係 Alberta、Saskatchewan， 甚至乎係 BC 嗰邊咧，做咗飛鏢手咧，咁嗰邊嘅規條咧同我哋東岸啲有點而分別嘅，因為東岸呢邊咧大部分飛鏢比賽嘅地方咧都係有酒精去serve 嘅，咁而一啲小朋友咧或者低過我哋叫做法定飲酒年齡嘅朋友咧，係未必係可以參與到嗰啲飛鏢比賽，或者佢未必可以去到嗰啲飛鏢比賽嘅地方啦，去同唔同嘅人啦去觀摩啦，甚至乎交流。咁但係咧喺西岸嗰邊嘅規條咧就有少少分別，因為喺嗰邊嚟講咧，就算係喺一啲我哋叫做有酒精飲品 serve 嘅地方啦，低過法定年齡嘅朋友咧都可以參與一啲飛鏢比賽，甚或乎嚟講咧都可以咧去入到呢啲飛鏢比賽嘅地方啦，去作出一個交流。正正就係因為咧阿 Sean 而家本身嚟講咧喺 Alberta Calgary 嗰個地方啦，嗰邊嘅省份啦，咁所以令到咧佢一早咧已經融合咗喺一班成人嘅飛鏢手嗰度咧，可以參與一啲飛鏢比賽啦，甚至乎嚟講同佢哋交流。所以當佢由年輕嘅組別跳到去成人組別咧，尤其是喺3年前嘅時候咧，就令到個 transition 咧，令到嗰個嘅轉折咧係更加容易，係更加方便嘅。咁另外咧，阿邦咧頭先亦都有問到個問題啦。咁其實而家究竟阿 Sean 係參與硬標多啊，因為軟標嘅呢個比賽多咧？咁其實咧原來咧大家都會知道阿 Sean 咧最早期咧係由呢個硬標開始投入喺呢個飛鏢運動啦。咁但係而家咧喺過往啲3年裏邊嚟講咧，佢大部分嘅時間咧都會係喺軟標嗰邊發展比較多。因為咧正如我所講啦，因為呢個運動比較 cool。Hey Sean, you make a very interesting comment. You were saying that Bon was asking you soft tube darts. You're playing with that, and you're saying that this is cool. Okay, I'm sure that to a lot of younger listeners out there, or for a lot of young dart player out there, they will use the same word "cool" to describe the electronic dartboard, right?
Yeah.
How does it feel to you for soft tip and steel tip? How does that feel to you? Like you were saying, cool. Steel tip is still cool, but yet it doesn't have all the lighting. It doesn't have all the features there, right? How would you describe the soft tip darts to you, like to yourself? How will you differentiate the two categories? Can you share a little bit with us?
To compare it, well, with the soft tip, I think the flashing lights and the whistling and all that, it's cool for the player himself. I don't know about the audience. Because it's hard for the audience to get into it. You really. But the best way for them to get into either of the sports would be to follow the game completely. And if an audience member can do that in either of the games, he'll find it just as interesting as the other. If he could just follow every score and watch the players' emotions, and that's what makes it exciting.
Right.
It's not really the board at all.
Mm-hmm.
Except for, like I said, for the player itself, I think that it's a lot more fun for myself when I'm playing soft tip nowadays. I don't know how that ever happened, I'm an original steel tip player. I love my steel tip darts, but I find that I'm having a bit more fun playing soft tip lately.
I can understand that, because me being an audience when watching different type of soft art competition, because of the lighting, because of the setup, because of the environment, it actually promote a little bit more atmosphere in comparison to steel tip, right? Because steel tip, we need to have the lights up, we need to have a more formal occasion, where soft tip, we may have like a more glamorous with spotlights on the stage and so on and so on. So therefore, even though for the environment setup, like for the room setup, the atmosphere is different too, right? So what that creates the feeling, right?
In some cases, it's like that, right? But when I went to the UK Open, like I said, this is the first major tournament I made, and this one really gave me an eye opener. I've been to events like this before, but this one really eye opened me, because I got there, and even though I was out of the tournament, me and my father, we went down and we watched, and the atmosphere there was like no other. I've been to hockey games, just we're not quite like that. Thousands of people in the crowd and dressing up as Superman and all that. Having lots of fun, and they really promoted it well there to keep the crowd into it there. I'm pretty sure eventually Darts Live and maybe one of the other soft tip boards will find a way to do this.
Are you talking about this 2014 European Dart Trophy tournament that you played against Terry Jenkins?
No. I'm not talking about that one. That one was pretty cool too, but I wouldn't say that the Germany crowd is quite like the English crowd. The UK Open was played at an English resort in England, and it was quite the experience. A little different than Germany, because those tournaments, the European tours that I played in were in Germany.
Were you intimidated?
That crowd, they pull it out.
Were you intimidated with a lot of crowds and cheering or booing dart players on the stage when you were playing?
Oh no, never. Oh, I hear them. I thought, a lot of people said that would be drowned out, but no, when I got up on stage for the first time, I couldn't really drown it out. But thank God, I've always told myself, instead of putting your emotions aside, I always say accept them for what they are. So if I'm nervous, I'm nervous. I know I'm nervous. I'm going to have to play through it, so just accept it. So I guess, I don't know, I got up on stage the first time, the big stage there. I guess the biggest one I got on was in the European tour by now, and I just looked at the crowd and, I looked everybody in the face and I just accepted it, that it was going on.
Okay. Very well.
Don't let it affect you.
Okay, let me do a little bit more translation for our Chinese listeners out there, so therefore they can catch up of what we are talking about. Okay， 咁大家都會知道啦 ，Sean 咧其實咧由硬錶轉接去軟錶啦。咁其實咧佢頭先用咗一個好特別嘅字眼去形容呢個軟錶呢個電子錶版啦，就係呢個 cool 呢一樣嘢。其實相信咧對好多收音機旁邊嘅聽眾啦，又或者好多年青嘅，尤其是啱啱接觸飛錶呢個運動嘅朋友嚟講啦，都會感受到同一樣嘢嘅。因為呢個電子嘅錶機嚟講啦，佢唔單止有飛鏢呢個環節咧，更加有好多唔同嘅 game 所以大家可以玩啦，更加喺成個外表上面嚟講咧係比較特別咧，亦都好 interesting 咁樣樣。咁我相信呢個係其中一個元素嚟講咧，係令到而家好多年青人咧開始踏入呢個飛鏢運動嘅時候咧，會更加喜歡啦，同埋更加愛呢個運動啦。咁當然嚟講咧，作為一個年青標手，一個22歲嘅年青標手咧，佢都會有同感嘅。佢都會覺得咧，一個 Dust Life 咧軟錶機或者其他嘅軟錶機咧，都係一個非常之好嘅或者非常之吸引嘅一個飛鏢版啦。咁亦都係其中嘅原因咧，點解佢會投放大部分時間咧軟錶呢個項目發展呢？咁但係對佢嚟講咧，正如佢所講咧，其實好多人咧都會有個誤解啊。正如我頭先問佢，好多人都會有誤解咧。其實好多時點解會覺得 cool 咧，係因為周遭嘅環境咧，甚至會有啲大型嘅比賽咧，其實軟錶嘅公司咧，佢製造到嘅氣氛咧，係會係多啲 excitement 或者係多啲 glamorous， 即係多啲好似一個演唱會啦，或者一個大型嘅場合啦，有晒燈光啊、投放啊、舞台等等，咁而令到身邊嘅觀眾啦，或者係電視機啊旁邊嘅觀眾咧更加投入。咁但究竟其實係咪呢一樣嘢令到佢覺得好 cool 咧？咁正如阿 Sean 所講啦，呢樣並唔係完全嘅，因為當佢咧去踏足緊咧去歐洲嘅飛鏢界別或者飛鏢壇裏邊嚟講咧，佢開始遇到咧，其實呢一樣嘢唔係統一嘅。原來喺硬錶界別咧，當去到 United Kingdom 即係英國嗰邊嚟講咧，即係一個飛鏢呢個飛鏢運動嘅發源地咧，係有大分別。因為喺當地嚟講咧，大部分人玩飛鏢咧係非常之尊重呢個運動啦，加上呢一啲大型嘅比賽咧，佢亦都當到咧好似一個冰上曲棍球嘅比賽咁樣去睇，係非常之認真嘅對呢個運動。所以咧，當佢第一次去接觸一個叫 UK Open 啦，即係呢個英國嘅公開硬錶嘅比賽嗰度嘅時候咧，當佢睇咧，佢已經覺得哇好不一樣啊！甚至乎嚟講咧，佢更加希望同境咧有一日咧喺我哋北美呢邊嚟講咧，將會成為咁樣嘅情況咯，或者咁樣嘅感受啦，俾到身邊更加多嘅觀眾咧去了解咧，究竟飛鏢咧係可以幾咁認真，係可以去到差唔多好似冰上曲棍球啦，甚至乎係一個籃球嘅運動嘅界別咧，而讓更加多人接受兼且認知。
華語電台着數多，
一卡在手冇錯過。
Canadian Chinese Radio Jet to Card Special
O'Connor Dental Care 全科牙醫服務，緊急護理、美白、種牙、箍牙專家，憑質素卡向9折，地址1871號 O'Connor Drive， 電話416-759-0895。
For all your dental needs plus savings on denture whitening braces and wisdom tooth extraction, visit O'Connor Dental Care, 1871 O'Connor Drive, Toronto, 416-759-0895。
Tikka 印度美食，美味燒雞、傳統咖喱、燒薄餅，食過翻尋味。另有純素食食譜，地址喺6001號14街，電話905-2016-767，追數家享有85折優惠。
Tikka Indian Delight at 6001 14th Avenue, Markham, 905-201-6767. Jitsu card 15% off.
做卡申請及查詢電話416-496-9633。華語電台着數吧，一卡制走冇錯過。
潮玩飛鏢 All About Darts。
So Sean, you mentioned that in UK Open is a real eye opener for you because of the feeling, because of the atmosphere, and it's really like hockey game. You said something like that, right? So
yeah, even better.
yes, even better. Okay, so to you being a young dart player, you being I would say the next movement in the dart scene in Canada, because you are in just a short 3 years you are doing very, very well. I would say extremely well in the soft tip dart competition as well as in the steel tip. You're very talented. I'm sure that you will be one of the next key driver in the sport. Do you wish one day in Canada or in North America we will see something similar as what UK Open in here as well for our dart competition as well?
Well, I hope for that for sure. But I wonder if I could see possibly a couple thousand people watching, but in North America at a time, but maybe not.
Yeah, not yet,
maybe
right?
not quite like the Premier League and all that here, because they're more compact and all that. So I guess it might be easier for them to travel around there. I'm not too sure if that's the answer for it, but that's what I'm getting from it.
Yep.
It's easier for the whole country to get to one spot, and then other European countries to participate as well, whereas we have, a city of 1 million, and then a good 500 kilometers away is another city of 10 million, and so on and so forth, however it works, right? And it might be a little bit hard here to do it. Maybe in Vegas, New York, places like that, Toronto,
Chicago.
for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Big places could possibly host an event like the World Masters, or like I said, the Germany ones that I was at. It could be like that for sure.
We hope that working together, that's why is also one of the reasons why we have this All About Darts program, because we want more people to appreciate the sport ultimately, eventually, which will be a long journey to work on. But together with talented dart player like yourself, we hope that will happen one day, in North America. It would be amazing, isn't it? It would be amazing seeing that, instead of choosing hockey or basketball, darts is also one of the sports that you get to see in the major TV channel, isn't it? It would be amazing. And we saw Sean there. Oh my God, that's really cool, extremely cool.
That's right.
But it will take some time.
Some of the ways I feel that we could promote that part is Darren Young made a quote one time that I really liked. He said, this is one of the sports that you can come in and play a professional from your region, possibly. It's not like golf, where you go into golf and you cannot play against some of the top players, and definitely with hockey and basketball you don't get that chance to do it. But in darts you could go to a tournament and have a chance against John Part or myself, or some of the up and coming players and top players of the world. You could possibly play them, and have a fighting chance. Not only that, I say college students, maybe some of the sponsorship money we get, instead of putting it back into the dart players we already have, but create a system where we, do scholarship shoots and stuff for college students to understand that there's spots to go in the game as well. And then one third thing I could say is it's one of the only sports that really you could have a chance to compete on television with your own father, that there's no age limit or discrimination on that. If you both qualify, you both could play together, or your brother. There's lots of possibilities of good relations in the game too, So I hope that answers that well.
Well, it does, and you point out the special things about darts indeed. Let me do a little bit of translation for our Chinese listeners out there, because you make a few very good points. I think that everyone should appreciate and everyone should know what will be the next dart world will be. OK， 頭先阿 Sean 所講咧，其實我頭先問佢究竟喺英國嘅一啲大型嘅硬標比賽啦，佢感受到個 glamours 啦，感受到嗰個輝煌啦，究竟佢覺得喺北美洲呢邊會唔會可以發生得到咧？咁正如阿 Sean 所講，因為地理嘅問題咧。 咧北美洲嘅地方咧係比較遠啊，尤其是喺加拿大，尤其是喺 Alberta 啦，去到 Ontario 呢邊，其實都有一個非常之遠程，因為佢個人口密集度唔夠咧，所以如果希望喺加拿大發生呢樣嘢咧，嗰個時間咧需要長少少咧，我哋先可以 build up 得到。但係奈何咧喺北美洲另外一個地方，美國嘅地方咧係會更加容易，因為個人口密集度啦，同埋啲觀眾咧係可以好容易到由一個地方去到另外一個地方啦。咁所以喺人口密集嗰方面咧係可以更加容易做到。不過當然嚟講啦，作為一個飛鏢手咧，佢都好希望 eventually 係會有更加多人投放喺呢個飛鏢運動啦。正如佢所講啦，其中一個老前輩咧曾經同佢講，就係話其實飛鏢咧係一個非常之特別嘅運動啊，因為佢可以容許到唔同年齡嘅人、唔同標齡嘅人咧係可以同一啲我哋叫職業兼且係一啲頂尖嘅飛鏢手咧係同場較量，甚至乎同場交流。咁呢個係一個飛鏢呢個運動其中一樣好特別一樣嘢，譬如 John Pot 啦，甚至乎 Sean Naring 啦，你係好容易，如果有機會遇上咧，佢哋係可以好容易單對單咁樣同你交流到啦，同埋俾你知道點樣可以喺飛鏢呢個運動咧係可以做得更加好。咁佢更加咧，阿 Sean 更加希望咧，久而久之咧，除咗一啲大型嘅飛鏢品牌咧，佢會投放資金或者投放一啲贊助嘅金錢咧，佢哋一班職業嘅飛鏢手身上咧，更加希望咧會有機會將來咧係有一個我哋叫獎學金啊成立得到，而讓更加多年青嘅飛鏢手或者一啲新嘅飛鏢手咧係可以真正喺呢個飛鏢運動裏邊嚟講發展，而得到足夠經費咧去發展落去嘅。Hey Sean, you know what? You were talking about scholarship for the sports of dart for the young dart player later on. Let me share a little bit interesting facts with you. I was talking with Alex Hong, who is one of the most famous Asian dart player. Indeed, they have already started the movement in China in one of the university called Canton University. They actually have a course for the sports of dart. And where is actually one of the credential credit that the students will get once they pass that course, and people will be able to earn scholarship money for it as well in Asia. That's what's happening in China. I think sooner or later, hope that things will happen in North America and around the world as well.
Okay, so that's
it's happening.
So you're saying that that's possibly a planning process?
I think so because someone's already started that movement in China and Asia, and it's actually a great course. Like when we go to university, say we study a subject, and that is one of the courses that you can select, in the course selections there. It's one of the compulsory subject, I think, in one of the faculty.
That's cool. I mean, it is good because, like I said, the more people in darts, the more darts becomes. I don't know if there is an end to that in this sport. Everybody has a chance to participate in this.
Yes, and
whether you're a low player or a top player, you have a chance to participate.
I agree.
So it is a good thing.
Yeah, and it's the beauty of it. 正如頭先我同阿 Sean 講啦，其實咧佢希望有獎學金發生咧喺北美洲呢邊嚟講咧，其實將會我相信喺好短時間裏邊嚟講將會發生得到，因為原來咧亞洲區咧，正如我哋之前同阿 Alex Hong 咧傾過偈啦，喺亞洲區嘅廣東大學裏邊已經開始有一個飛鏢嘅課程咧喺度進行緊㗎啦，甚至乎咧有好多人咧如果要畢業讀某一個嘅科別咧，佢可以揀選呢個飛鏢嘅課程咧，而成為佢一個 credit 嚟嘅。咁所以如果喺亞洲區裏邊已經發生緊啦，我相信喺北美洲咧將會短時間裏邊嚟講咧，藉住我哋一班有名氣嘅飛鏢手啦，藉住大家有心希望將呢個飛鏢運動咧推得更加高嘅朋友咧，呢一樣嘢係將會可以發生得到嘅。Sean 咧其實喺唔同嘅界別咧亦都做得非常之好啦。咁究竟佢有乜嘢嘅方法可以令到自己喺短3年裏邊嚟講咧已經攀升到咧我哋叫做呢個 top 8嘅位置啦，兼且喺世界嘅標壇咧係更加多人認知咧。Let me ask Sean about it. Sean, in just 3 short years, you are already one of the top 8. I would say one of the best Canadian dart player being known around there. What have you done? What's the magic that you've done? How do you practice for a lot of our listeners out there? I'm sure that they want to follow your footstep and be as good as you, or follow your footstep to be on the stage and being seen, being recognized as one of the most reckonable dart player. How do you practice and how do you achieve or how do you accelerate so fast?
Well, the practice routine that I have, when I was a kid, I used to just take like 9 darts and throw at the bullseye and see how many I could hit at a time, right? And then as I get older, that all changed. But one of the suggestions that I could make, because when I get into ruts, what I mean by that is when I get into a phase where I can't shoot or can't seem to hit or feel it the same way, I go to the board and I throw basically without any regards towards hitting anything, but more thinking of my comfortability and the naturalness of the arm. So when I'm throwing, I just do what happens naturally, and I do it so that it'll just happen and feel the same way every time. And I do that for a couple hours, and then I kind of start thinking about hitting things again and putting it back into the key, you know. And when I say a couple hours, I don't mean I stand there for a couple hours. I mean I do it for a couple minutes, sit down, go back, you know, in routine. So that's basically what happens there. Other than that, the practice routine I do is just I kind of do it when I imagine myself. If I start imagining myself on the stage and playing against top players and just in the moment I get up and I start throwing darts, and sometimes I'll only throw for 5 to 10 minutes, and sometimes I'll find myself, you know, 4 hours later just, oh my god, where did the time go? Time for bed. That's how it goes.
This is very interesting. Let me do a little bit translation for our Chinese listeners out there. OK， 頭先我問阿 Sean 啦，其實如果譬如話作為一個我相信大家都好想希望好似可以阿 Sean 咁樣做得咁好啦，喺飛鏢呢個運動裏邊，其實有乜嘢 tips 可以同大家分享下呢？原來呢，好特別啦，佢正如佢所講呢，其實最緊要呢，你就要同嗰3支飛鏢溝通到。係啊，雖然嗰3支飛鏢呢，對好多人嚟講呢，只係一個硬物。但係其實咧，如果咧你可以觸動得到佢，或者係同佢溝通得到咧，其實呢3支飛鏢咧，你可以掌控性好高。咁當然嚟講啦 ，throw 咁耐嘅時間咧，阿 Sean 咧係有佢迷失嘅時候，亦都有佢有陣時掟唔到佢想 hit 到嘅位置嘅時候。咁到其時佢會點做咧？其實咧過往咧佢有個習慣啦，如果佢真係開始 hit 唔到佢想 hit 嘅地方，尤其是佢喺度訓練緊自己嘅時候咧，佢就會點咧？佢就會將佢會清咗佢腦袋諗緊嘅所有嘢，甚至乎咧唔會 set 一個數字咧俾自己，而係相對嚟講咧就會同啲3支飛鏢開始溝通啦，而讓自己嘅身體咧係可以好微妙咁樣咧，同啲3支飛鏢咧感受下對方。而純粹用一個好自然嘅 natural movement 啊，係去感受下啲3支飛鏢究竟飛到去咩位置，而重新讓身體去認識啲3支飛鏢係乜嘢東西，從而 pick up 翻呢個感覺出嚟。呢個咧就係因為呢個飛標感覺咧，令到佢掌控性高，而亦都令到咧佢喺台上邊咧可以遇到一啲非常之高界別嘅飛鏢手嘅時候咧，冇咗怯場個感受，因為佢覺得佢只係同啲3支飛鏢連成一線咧去參與呢個飛標比賽啦，並唔係同任何人去 compete 嘅。
華語電台着數多，
一卡在手冇錯過。
Canadian Chinese Radio Jet Card Special。
O'Connor Dental Care 全科牙醫服務、緊急護理、美白種牙、箍牙專家，憑質素卡向9折，地址1871號 O'Connor Drive， 電話416-759-0895。
For all your dental needs plus savings on denture whitening braces and wisdom tooth extraction, visit O'Connor Dental Care, 1871 O'Connor Drive, Toronto, 416-759-0895。
Tikka 印度美食、美味燒雞、傳統咖喱、燒薄餅，食過翻尋味，另有純素食食譜，地址喺6001號14街，電話905-2016767，追數卡享有85折優惠。
Tikka Indian Delight at 6001 14th Avenue, Markham, 905-201-6767. Jitsu Card 15% off。
質素卡申請及查詢電話416-496-9633。華語電台着數多，一卡在手冇錯過。
潮玩飛鏢 All About Darts。彼得教室之飛鏢101 Darts 101 by Mentor Peter。
歡迎嚟到新一集嘅飛鏢教室啊 by Mentor Peter。咁究竟 Peter 今日有咩同我哋分享呢？ Peter, so what are you going to share with us today?
Well, we've been talking about practice, and I would like to continue on some of the areas that the dart player should consider, but do not get too much attention. When you're practicing, you should be practicing your stroke and delivery. You should be learning your outshots. You should be practicing your accuracy. And you should be practicing on increasing your focus and concentration on the target. So 101 is going to be devoted to that for the next couple of sessions. And we'll start off with the stroke and delivery.
OK。正如 Peter 所講啦，早2集開始咧，我哋已經講緊練習啊，練習係一個非常之重要嘅技巧啦，因為可以容許到我哋掌控性嗰3支飛鏢更加高啦。咁其實練習包括啲咩嘢咧？包括咗幾個唔同嘅大嘅類別嘅，正如 Peter 所講，第一就係個 stroke 啦，即係你嘅姿勢啦；第二就係 delivery， 究竟你點樣放一支標出去；第三就係話你點樣可以 outshoot 啊，即係換句話講，將啲飛鏢發放出去嗰一刻。另外就係嗰個準程度 accuracy。第5樣嘢咧就係個 focus， 即係換句話講，你嘅專注力，甚至乎你個中標位。而最後尾嗰一樣嘢就係 concentration。咁究竟喺啲幾個項目裏邊嚟講，我哋點樣可以掌控性得好、掌拿得好咧？咁啊 Peter 咧喺嚟緊由今集開始咧，嚟緊以後嗰幾集咧都會同我哋 focus 喺呢幾個項目嘅。咁今集咧我哋將會 focus 喺 stroke 同埋 delivery 嘅。
Okay, each and every time you go to the board to throw, you set yourself up and you aim the dart. There's slight pause. There's a draw back towards your face. You launch the dart and you follow through. And this will develop into a pattern, and you should develop it into a throwing rhythm. So develop your throwing rhythm. The idea is to do the same thing each time with the same time interval between each part of your throw. What will happen is that when you've been practicing several hundred times at this rhythm will develop and will become part of your dart delivery.
第一樣嘢咧，最緊要就係個 stroke。咩為之個 stroke 咧？就係當我哋拎起嗰支飛鏢，將一支飛鏢提起，將支飛鏢拎去我哋嘅面前邊，跟住然後再掟出去嗰一下。咁其實咧呢個應該係有節奏感嘅，因為其實頭尾啲4個動作裏邊嚟講啦，而中間嘅掌控性咧，嗰種嘅時間咧都要掌拿得好。個節奏感咧點樣可以掌拿得到咧？就要藉住你嘅訓練啦，同埋練習呢一個嘅排列啦。咁通常嚟講咧，作為一個職業嘅飛鏢手咧，佢最早期嘅時候咧，佢會練超過100次咧，而將呢個掌控性同埋將呢個節奏性，甚至乎每一個動作中間嗰個時間性咧，掌拿十足，然後先開始出去真係掟一啲比賽嘅。
You must make sure that the time interval between each is consistent every time, and that type of consistency will only come with practice. So we're back to the practice again. Each good dart player will practice well, and to be a good dart player you really do have to concentrate on practicing. One of the things that I must stress though is that the follow through is extremely important when you're practicing your stroke. You'll find out that the lack of it or too much causes a dart to hit high or low as the case may be. So if you have a high dart or a low dart, then usually it's because of your follow through part of your throw.
另外一樣嘢咧 ，Peter 覺得重要嘅咧，喺我哋成個練呢個節奏感啦，甚至乎練呢個基本嘅動作裏邊，其中一個環節咧叫 follow through 啊，即係換句話講，當你拎住一支標，跟住然後發放出去，直至隻手伸直，隻飛鏢離開咗隻手嗰一刻咧，就為之 follow through。咁其實呢一個動作咧非常之重要㗎，因為咧如果我哋做得太快、太大力、太慢，甚至乎嚟講做得太慢咧，其實會影響到一支飛鏢中嗰個標板嘅位置。好多時咧，如果你發現咧你掟出嗰一支飛鏢咧太高或者太低咧，十居其九咧都係因為呢個 follow through 嘅動作做得唔好。如果呢啲 follow through 嘅動作可以掌拿得好咧，藉住呢個練習啦，藉住訓練自己啦，咁其實咧你嘅準程度率會大大提高嘅。咁今集咧嘅 Dart 101咧就係到呢一刻為止啦。咁下一集咧我哋會繼續同你分享一下咧其他 Peter 頭先所講咧訓練裏邊、練習裏邊呢啲重要嘅動作嘅。下集再見。
潮玩飛鏢 All About Darts。
Sean.
Yes.
Hello, Sean. According to Phil the Power Taylor, you have to have a nickname in order to be famous. Do you have any nickname, Sean?
No, not at all.
Okay, because there are some other Canadians. They call themselves the Titan, the Beast. For me, they call me James Bond. And I'm just wondering because you are just a simple dart player with no nickname as anybody else in order to scare the other dart players.
I'm sure that Sean doesn't need a nickname to scare people, Like for me, I'm already, just by talking with Sean and seeing his wisdom and seeing his passion and seeing his natural, the natural connection with darts. I think that already scared many people without a name, right, Sean?
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. Do you have a Google in front of you guys right now? Anybody?
I do.
You do. So type in the meaning of my two names. Type in the meaning of Sean, and you get a good meaning there. And then type in the meaning of Narain, and you get a good meaning there. I think my name's fine. I love my name. So I don't need a nickname.
You know what? I'll leave.
Go ahead, search it up and tell Bong what the meaning is.
Okay, in Irish, the meaning of name Sean, God is gracious, gift from God. I'm sure that what I see and what we are witnessing right now is that a very young dart player picking up the scene, actually picking up the movement of darts in the Canadian dart scene is already a gift of God that we have you in the dart spot, Sean. So I'm sure, as I agree with you, no nickname is needed because your name, Sean Narain, already speak well for itself.
That's
what
right.
you truly are and who you're going to lead the dart scene to be, right, Sean?
And hopefully become, yeah.
Yes, and I'm sure that a lot of, hopefully one day we'll be able to see you in Toronto here, and I'm sure that a lot of our listeners out there would love, to be able to learn more about darts from you, I hope that one day we can happen.
I hope so. I mean, I have lots of ideas that rumble through my head, and hopefully one day I create the ability in myself to promote this game a little bit better.
Yes.
I find it's people think it's hard to get sponsors and all that. It is hard right now, but as long as we keep promoting the game like we're doing right now, like you guys are doing for us, which I thank you, by the way. As long as we keep doing that, it'll come and everybody will have their fair share of what they deserve, and I'm sponsored by Shot Darts, and they're a good company. They've really been helping me out. And also Red Eye Rhino, they've been making me a couple shirts, and so people do reach out to you, and they're all really nice people and great people to be a part of. So
That's right.
They help as well.
That's right。即頭先阿邦咧就問咗阿 Sean 究竟佢需唔需要一個嘅別名啦？因為正如一個好出名嘅飛鏢手 Phil Taylor 所講啦，每一個成功嘅標手咧必須要有一個名字。但阿 Sean 嘅答案咧非常之特別，因為佢話俾大家聽，佢話只需要咧大家上去 Google 搜尋一下佢嘅名 Sean SHAUN， 而加上搜尋埋佢個 last name Narain， 去find out 一下究竟呢兩個字點解呢？你就會明白到點解佢唔需要一個別名或者唔需要另外一個稱號，因為原來呢，你就咁 search 下 Sean 呢個字呢，我就咁睇個 first name 呢，已經代表住上帝嘅禮物。咁其實正正呢，我自己好深深感受到啦，喺短短嘅3年時間裏邊，佢已經可以代表住加拿大呢攀升到 top 8嘅位置，兼且呢係一個年輕嘅標手呢，對住好多標齡夾埋已經超過咗幾百年嘅飛標手，佢都完全冇怯場，兼且可以將加拿大呢個名字打上呢個咁高嘅榜首呢，佢絕對係一個上帝嘅禮物，賜予俾我哋加拿大呢個飛鏢壇嗰度。咁當然嚟講啦，喺阿 Sean 嘅心目中，甚至乎喺阿 Sean 腦袋裏邊呢個年輕小伙子呢，唔希望只係攀升到 top 8， 唔希望只係攀升到 top 1， 佢最大理想呢，好希望喺不久嘅將來呢，加拿大呢個飛鏢壇，甚至乎北美洲啲飛鏢壇呢，係會更加多人認知，更加多人參與，甚至乎更加多人呢，係可以認同呢個運動。Sean, you know what? I'm sure that you will be one of the key movement, as I have been mentioning using this term throughout the program, that you will be one of the key movement who can get more young players to come into the sports of that, who can unite more people. I hope that together with you, we can promote the sport better and let more people appreciate it. And And we thank you for your time, for coming to our program today. We really love and enjoy talking with you. I hope that next season we'll get a chance to talk to you again, and by then we're looking forward to seeing you at a higher ranking, even higher ranking, around the world in the dart scene. Okay?
Oh, it's possible. Even if I'm a lower ranking, I wouldn't consider myself any less. So
no,
we'll see how it all goes next year, and maybe the experiences will change my opinion on the game, and I'll have some different ways of saying it all.
For sure, because I think the dart sport is interesting enough. Every day is a journey, right? We learn something new from that sport every day. And it's
a journey. And good luck to all the players out there, whether you're just trying it out for the first time or if you're doing it for a career, or a hobby.
Okay.
Good luck to everybody. I hope you all succeed.
Okay, thank you so much, Sean.
Thank you so much, Sean. Regards to Leon and Ariana.
Okay, thank you so much.
No, thank you so much.
咁今日節目到咁上下，咁下個禮拜我哋繼續潮玩飛鏢 All About That。
華語電台着數多，
一卡在手冇錯過。
Canadian Chinese Radio Jet to Card Special.
O'Connor Dental Care 全科牙醫服務緊急護理美白種牙箍牙專家，憑質素卡享9折，地址1871號 O'Connor Drive，電話416-759-0895。
For all your dental needs plus savings on denture whitening braces and wisdom tooth extraction, visit O'Connor Dental Care, 1871 O'Connor Drive, Toronto, 416-759-0895。
Tikka 印度美食美味燒雞傳統咖喱燒薄餅食過翻尋味，另有純素食食譜，地址喺6001號14街，電話905-2016-767，質素卡享有85折優惠。
Tikka Indian Delight at 6001 14th Avenue, Markham, 905-201-6767. Jitsu card 15% off.
質素卡申請及查詢電話416-496-9633。華語電台着數多，一卡在手冇錯過。